Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, December 2nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple points of clarification. Number one, the candlestick you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. And maybe you're noticing, well, why are there not that many candles compared to over here? That is because the day after Thanksgiving, the markets always close at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So you're not crazy to think, are there more candles over here compared to up there? Not crazy at all, but that is why markets closed at 1 p.m. Eastern time today, or I should say they will be closing soon in about 12 minutes at 1 p.m. Eastern. So stock number one here, ticker symbol UMAC, have been tracking this one very closely, and yet again, another big explosion today. So yeah, I mean, absolutely crazy to think that not that long ago, this thing was down around $4, $5, and now it's, pushing the $20 mark. So very, very impressive movement. So let's get the newest area of support into play here, which I would call that chart line there. So let's change that to green to represent support. So keep an eye on that as things move forward. And that would be more the ideal level of support. If you were to ask Clay, what makes this chart look the absolute strongest? Definitely if the price can stay above that green line there. But from the big picture point of view, just continue to watch that purple line right there, 50 period moving average. Keyword definitely being moving because I understand the price is way up here. That line's way down there. But as time goes by, that line's going to move itself higher and get more and more relevant. So from big picture standpoint, as long as price stays above that purple line, then the overall trend is still plenty in the bull's favor. As far as areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. Just a basic question, where did the party essentially stop today? And that was right up here around $19.30. And I say around because, yes, the price actually did go a little bit above it there, but right there didn't quite hit it. But the general area here at $19.30, going to be public enemy number one going into Monday. But all in all, a very nice way to end the week. Next one, MSTZ, and not the greatest day today. Now, to be fair, it did recover nicely, but it did break down below that trend line right there. So I'm not going to say the entire chart's ruined, but things are starting to look a little shaky. And I will say that going into next week, a level that I would definitely call a very, very important area. Let's try that again. There we go. Is that area of support right there. Let me actually zoom out a little bit so you can get a better idea of where this is coming from. If the price were to come down, not saying it will, but if it were to come down and break through that level, all of a sudden you're basically having the price right back to where it was at these lows. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of true, genuine strength. I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is why that trend line, very, very important next week. If the price does decide to bounce and nothing has really changed as far as resistance areas are concerned, still got to keep an eye right there on $1.18. Next one, SOUN, a crazy looking chart when you just stop and think about how going back to Wednesday, all green candles here, and then you look at today, all green candles once again, and finally some sideways movement, but very, very impressive, strength here. And now we have ourselves a nice little pattern that has formed. So let me get this drawn into play. So we have the resistance part of the pattern. We have the support part right there. And let me just keep it one color so we can ideally make it easier to see. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big move up right there. For you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's bullish doesn't mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. But my point here is, excuse me, it's certainly more than valid, more than logical to think that if the price consolidates, comes up here and pushes up through there, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure. So overall, very, very impressive past couple days. Now you got the bull pennant headed into next week. So we'll see what happens. Next one, PRZO, and overall the chart's hanging in there, but you also have to, just call it like it is. Pretty brutal pullback to think at one point the price was there, and I think that people were buying at those locations, and then to have the price pull all the way back. Again, not a total crash. It's still up above the key moving averages down here. You can see purple line 50 period, pink line 200 period moving average. But yeah, nonetheless, that was a pretty brutal pullback. But also this last 30 minutes here, you can see nice little green candle. So maybe this is the start of a bigger move in the upwards direction. And if that is indeed the case, first key battleground that price will need to fight up through on Monday, or at least at some point, will be right up there around the $1.45 mark. And then in terms of areas of support, the level that stands out to me, and there's no rocket science behind this, is by using that trend line, we'll be measuring, is this thing at least putting in higher lows? Because nothing can go straight up, but you at least want to see the price put higher lows, which it did from there and there. So as long as the price now stays above that line, that implies that at least some sort of higher low is being built into place. And if you want to envision those as stair steps, that's what it's all about. You want to see stair steps progress in the upwards direction, and that's what that trend line can help us with. So from a support standpoint, I would definitely consider that a very, very important level. Next one, NVDA. NVIDIA, very, very nice move today. Continued its upwards bounce that occurred late day on Wednesday, and is now sitting right below a very key level of resistance. So let me actually just get rid of that. And first update is just based on a foundation rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And especially here, 135.80. I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to come down here and then break down below it, well, what do you have? You all of a sudden have the price essentially right back in this range that it just broke out of. And again, from just a general, is this a truly strong move? Well, truly strong moves are not going to go back to where they were. They're going to make those points of progress. So if this is the newest low, if it were to come down there, well, when you compare that to the previous low, you have those stair steps. So in my mind, 135.80, important area of support for that reason. And then in terms of levels of resistance, got to think everybody and their brother's uncle is what? Well, I think so. Did it bounce right off it? Yeah, it did. Right here at 139.35. So you can see right there is where the price got rejected. And then you look right there and price was rejected. And now the price just sliding right below it. But while nothing is guaranteed, certainly more than plausible to think that the price can come up here and break up through that, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy. But for the price to break through there and then all of a sudden gain more momentum, that is a very realistic possibility. So if you're, you like to play breakouts at 139.35, definitely keep an eye on it. Real quick, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class next week. Next one, RGTI, very nice mover today, and is now, I was going to say sitting at resistance, but it may have pushed up through there. Right up in this general area. So let's just do this so we can just clear it all out, and let's just call it right up there around that previous batch, right up around 323. But, don't get too hung up where that level of resistance is at, because the key dynamic here is that this was a former area of resistance right here. You can see got the breakout right there and then beautiful follow through. So all in all, fantastic day. Great to see that purple line hold strong. I talked about that in past charts, but that's a 50-period moving average. And I mean, the power of charts, look, bounced right off it. Didn't hit it quite this morning, but very close right off of it. So if you didn't connect those dots, yes, going into next week, that purple line there currently valued at 255. And I say currently valued because remember, that is a moving average. So as time goes by, that line's going to move higher, and then this value over here will also change. But anyway, look at it. Great movement today. Great respect of that 50-period moving average. Now all eyes shift to right up there around 323 as key breakout point. Next one, KULR, and this is exactly why I like to do these when the market's still open, because check this out. Last 30 minutes, this thing is just in beast mode, pushing to new highs. And not a whole lot to say other than the components are there, meaning there's great volume, there's great movement. And from a trading standpoint, that's at the core what we want. We want volume, we want volatility, and that is what's showing us here. Now, there's some areas of support that I can throw out there. So if there is any sort of pullback, ideal level you'd want to see hold right up there around $1.05. That would make it look the strongest. But as I've said on a couple other ones, from the bigger picture point of view, just watch that purple line. As long as the price stays above there, then that illustrates the overall trend is still perfectly fine. And we have, once again, a classic example right there of the price bouncing right off that purple line there. So all in all, as far as breakouts are concerned, resistances, it's essentially in blue sky breakout territory right now, which is a good problem to have. But just continue to watch those supports. And as long as the price stays above those supports, then overall that implies the trend is plenty in the bull's favor. Next one, ACHR, nice mover today. And just first update, as I mentioned on previous one, areas of resistance are broken and closed above. You want to see them act as support. So 850, newest area. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just adjust this up. Always a good thing when levels of support are being adjusted upwards. So the ideal level of support right there at $9. But that overarching level, yes, once again, 50-period moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price stays above it, that's what you want. And I mean, just check out that purple line. Classic example. I mean, look how the price that line keeps moving. Price stays above it. Price remains in a very beautiful uptrend. And then in terms of areas of resistance, seems as though the main battleground to keep an eye on moving forward is going to be right there at $9.65. But all in all, very, very impressive chart and nice way to end the week. Speaking of nice ways to end the week, here we have TSLA, Tesla. And last 30 minutes, check it out, has come up there and broken beautifully through that purple line. And after the break, it has just continued to push higher and higher. So, I mean, you really can't draw up a better final 30 minutes of the day. And given that it's Friday, better final 30 minutes of the week. And look at that thing just continuing to push higher. So, yes, the breakout has occurred. That's fantastic. That's what you want to see. And now moving forward, as far as areas of support are concerned, watch that pink line there, which you can see on Wednesday. The price did a fantastic job of respecting it. That is a 200 period moving average. If that level can't quite hold up, then the 326.60 mark will be important. And then in terms of areas of resistance, next key battleground to watch moving forward, going to be right up there around 351.40. But all in all, fantastic way to end the week. Next one, OPTT, and have ourselves another great break. So many breakouts today, but I talked about this one previously. Nice bull pennant, but the price is nicely up above it, so we'll just start afresh here. And newest area of resistance, I'm going to call right up here around the 52 cent mark. Not exact because, you had this level that went slightly above it and then a couple one that went slightly below. But this general area here is where the sellers are hanging out right now. So keep an eye on 52 cents next week as that main area of resistance. In terms of levels of support, a couple ways you could do it. You could just use that 50 period moving average if you want to be a little bit more aggressive and throw in a trend line like that. Or if you wanted to be super aggressive and throw in a trend line like that, that's even steeper. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go off of it. But at the end of the day, what matters most is that this thing continues to chip away and build those higher lows, which has been a theme today. But that's just what the market's got quite a bit of these charts right now where you have a low there, you have a low there, you have a low there, you have a low there. You have these stair steps, and this thing just continues to grind higher and higher. So if you like these strong uptrends, if you like penny stocks, then here you go. Take a look at OPTT. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a moment, but again, for you stock traders out there, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely go get signed up for the class. Like I said, it'll be free, and it's next week, Thursday, December 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. And also, if you enjoy these top 10 videos and want to support the channel in a super easy and free way, please just hit that subscribe button. Really helps out and really does have a real-world impact as far as how YouTube looks at channels and all that sort of good stuff. So if you could at least hit the subscribe button, that really does help out. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I'm now on the 4-hour time frame, so each one of these candlesticks represents 4 hours, and that is because Bitcoin is open 24/7, and in order for this video to remain relevant for as long as possible, I like to look at longer time frames and then walk you through some questions, and based on how you answer those questions, that'll dictate the current status of the chart. So the price did actually break above that resistance area right there, got the move, but unfortunately, as of now, it's seeming like a fake break because not that long afterwards, the price came down and is now dropping back below that area. With all that being said, if you're watching this video, let's just call it Sunday afternoon, question number one you need to ask yourself is, where's the price at relative to that trend line? For all we know, at that point, maybe the price has leveled out and is all the way up here. And if that's the case, that's where common sense needs to take over. That would be a good thing. How good of a thing? Well, how far above the red line is it? So that's the follow-up question. Is the price above the red line? If so, well, how far above it? And the further up above it, the more powerful, the more bullish of a weekend it has actually become. Right now, yeah, we don't even know if this breakout is going to occur, but that's one situation. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, it's Sunday afternoon, I'm watching this, the price is still down below that level. Next immediate question is, okay, well, where's the price at relative to 92,500? If you're saying the price is down below there, I'm still not going to say the chart's ruined, but things are starting to look a little shaky. And, well, how shaky? Again, common sense, well, how far down below that level is it? And then finally, if you're saying, well, Clay, the price is down below here, but it is up above there, well, then at that point, the word I would use for that situation is just consolidation. It's doing some form of consolidation. So if it falls between those lines, then like I said, that word would summarize the current situation. But yeah, keep your eye on these levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep a very, very relevant analysis of Bitcoin all weekend long. And as invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely get signed up for this free class because what you'll learn about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So as mentioned, it'll be next week, Thursday, December 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. And then as I previously mentioned, if you enjoy these videos, want me to keep making them, please just hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. So thanks for watching. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you back on Monday.